I really want, as you think about business for 2022, I want to cater this to you and your personal mindset. Because if you have, it doesn't matter if you're the world's best salesperson, you know the most about insurance, which really doesn't really matter that much, by the way. If you have the wrong mindset, you could be phenomenal. If you walk in and you're negative and you're complaining and you're looking for problems instead of solutions, you're not going to have a good year. So when you think about 2022, here's the stuff I want you to think about. Okay? Number one, how you talk to yourself matters. So like every single day, how are you talking to yourself? Like you're telling yourself, dude, I'm going to accomplish a lot today. I'm going to win today. I'm going to make $1,000 today, whatever it is. I'm going to make an impact today. I'm going to help 4 people, whatever it is. Or are you saying, dude, it's Thursday, it's Friday. I got the weekend coming up. I'm ready to take some time off. I've had a great week. I'm going to just chill. I'm going to slow down. Or are you telling yourself you're dumb? Are you telling yourself you're not great at sales? Are you telling yourself you're not good on the phone? Are you telling yourself you don't know what to say typically? Are you telling yourself you hate hearing objections so that when you hear them, you're going to totally despise hearing them? Or are you talking to yourself as in, hey, like, I don't know everything. Like, my ego's not going to get in the way, but I can promise you, I'm going to outwork everybody in the room. I'm going to put forth the right effort. I'm going to do the right things. I really believe how we talk to ourselves is truly, truly important. Self-confidence is one of the most important things on the planet. You think about all the things going on in the world, people struggling with depression and everything else, like personal confidence is huge. Like it is the difference maker between somebody doing something big in their life and somebody not, right? I was very fortunate, not everybody was. I had a phenomenal childhood. My parents were incredible. It was funny, Landon was talking about his son earlier and how he was like, man, Dad, I've been through a lot in my life. And Landon's like, shut up. You got a lake house and a boat and a 4,000 square foot house and all that, playing sports every day. Like, what are you talking about? You've been through a lot, right? I was that kid, by the way, that had not been through a lot. Like I had a very, very amazing childhood, but not everybody has. And a lot of times we're carrying that into the rest of our life and it's affecting what we do and how we do it. So how you talk to yourself matters. Number 2, accept responsibility. I don't blame anyone for anything at any time. Guess who I blame? I blame me. I get into a car wreck because somebody ran a stop sign and I hit them. My fault. I could have picked it up. I could have saw them. I have a bad day. I make 100 calls, 4 people answer, and I set no appointments. Is it that nobody picked up the phone, or is it that you squandered the opportunities that you did have? Maybe you've only made 40 grand this year. You're like, dude, maybe you've only made 100, but you could have made 200, whatever it is. Like I accept full responsibility for everything in my life. Like for example, our insurance conference, building a conference and a brand is one of the toughest things I've ever done. Like you sell 1,200 tickets and 400 people show up. And you're like, dude, it's like the mentally toughest thing I've ever had to deal with. But it's my fault that they didn't show up. Could have sent them a gift, could have called them all, could have texted them all. I could have done more. The point of accept responsibility, we've even got wristbands, but I broke mine recently. I need to get another one that say accept responsibility because every day I am responsible for what I do, how I do it, and how well my day goes. I'm responsible. I leave an appointment and I should have made the sale and I don't. Like for example, after I made $117,000 in my first 8 months, I remember going back 4 months later to run an appointment because I took some time off because I hit my target and I was playing, going to play basketball in school and all that. I took a little time off. I went back in January and I went to run a warm market appointment down in Omaha, Arkansas. And I was supposed to sell 2 life insurance policies to some of my parents' friends. I left empty-handed. Why? Because I was rusty. It wasn't because it wasn't the right time for them. Everybody needs life insurance. They didn't have it. But me being rusty may have cost their family not having the insurance they needed. Is it that they just didn't want to buy today, or is it that you weren't on your best effort? Like I was telling Dylan, I'm like, dude, this is a little unique for me. I'm used to speaking to like big rooms. I haven't done this in a long time. I'm like, Dylan, I'm excited for this because I used to do a lot of this and I love it. I enjoy it. Like Landon which was phenomenal, by the way, is a natural like educator, right? Teacher, and you can feel it. Okay, so you got to figure out what you are. But I can tell you that accepting responsibility is one of the best keys as you walk into 2022, right? Quit blaming your spouse for all your problems, right? Your kids. If you're broke, change it, right? If you got $100 in your bank account, whose fault is that? It's mine. Number 3, some of you are like, dude, never invite this guy back, okay? Number 3, show up. I remember, because the step 1 of success, by the way, is showing up. The number one step to success is showing up. I remember on a Saturday morning, had an appointment somewhere, I think it was like, I don't know, it was like an hour north of Joplin. It was like a couple hours from here, right? It was a pretty good ways. And I remember going to the, I remember it was me and another agent that set the appointment. It was for like 9 a.m. on a Saturday. We're supposed to leave at like the office at like 6:30 or 7 o'clock. And we go to the office and we're about to leave. And I'm like, dude, that's a long way. It's one appointment. It's a Saturday. I start, making excuses. I'm like, let's call first. I don't believe in doing that. However, I did. And she didn't answer. Think about what you would have done in this moment, by the way, right? Like this happens and I call first and she doesn't answer. And I'm like, she's probably not there. Probably not home. I'm like, dude, it's 6:45 a.m. Where's she at, right? She's at McDonald's drinking coffee. Who cares? Just go to the flipping appointments. But I'm like, no, she's not gonna be there. The agent's like, dude, why don't we just go? We have nothing to do. Who cares? Let's just find out. So we go. She forgot, but she's there. She apologizes. We get in. We're there for like 3 hours. It's one of the best moments of my life. We write a $505 a month whole life insurance policy. We almost didn't go. How many times are you like, I'm just going to call, I'm not going to go, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But what's funny is about the insurance industry is we never know if it's going to be the worst appointment of our life or if it's going to be the best one we've ever had. The next phone call, right? If we show up and actually make one extra call, like Patrick Bet-David talked about this at our conference. He talked about how he would have all these guys in a room and he would say, okay, let's make 40 calls. And they would all make 40 calls. And he'd be like, okay, let's do another 40. And a couple people would leave. They'd call another 40. And then he's like, okay, who wants to do another 40? And then a few would leave. Let's do another 40. And then a few would leave. And it'd be down to like him and one other person. He'd be like, the other person would be like, this is my last 40. He'd be like, okay, that's fine, no worries. They call 40. He's like, let's call another 40. The other person's like, I'm leaving. He's like, I'm not. Because I want to make sure I'm last, and I want to make sure I call 40 more than everybody else. Or are you just leaving with everybody else because it's cool, it's fun, it looks good, right? You don't want to make anybody look bad. Or are you like, dude, I'm not worried about anybody else. I'm worried about me dominating 2022. That's the kind of stuff I think about. Number 4, I really believe in setting targets and goals. Like I do not believe in doing anything. I don't even believe in walking out of the house without a target of I'm doing this week, this month, this year. Like you have to have a target or a goal with everything you do. That first year, I would not have made 6 figures if my dad wouldn't have told me, you should make 6 figures your first year. Everyone should. I'm like, he was thinking bigger for me, by the way. I'm like, maybe he's right. I don't know. Like, I didn't know any better. I didn't know that was great. Now I've realized like I'm the only person ever with a Mutual of Omaha local office that's made 6 figures in their first 8 months, ever, in the history of that office. It was because I didn't know any better. Like, are you letting other people cap the potential future for you, or are you capping the potential future for you? So for me, everything we do, there's a target. Like for 8% Nation, we set a target of 2,500 insurance agents in attendance in Dallas, July of 2022. I put out something on Instagram recently, like, hey, who wants to maybe speak at one of our conferences? Somebody reached out. I said, well, okay, why should we have you speak? What kind of value can you bring? And how many people could you bring? And the gentleman's like, I could bring a couple hundred people with me. Like, okay, you got my attention, right? What did he do? He brought value first. Okay, he brought value first. So everything you do have a target or a goal. 4, I really believe in daily routine. If you study successful people, they all have a daily routine. Like they don't just get out of bed, brush their teeth, shower, change clothes, walk into the office, and hope they have success for the day. Like they just don't do that. Like they don't sleep in. Like they're up. So here's my daily routine. I call it my daily Power 5. Every day I'm up before 6 a.m. Okay, it ain't rocket science. It sounds early, but I'm telling you, once you get used to it, it's actually not early. Like I was up at 3 this morning and I went back to sleep for a little bit, but I was excited for this, so I couldn't sleep, right? So wake up before 6. Second is I get a good workout in every single day. 6 days a week, I work out with a trainer. Why? Because energy is everything. right? What are you really selling in insurance? You're selling you. Like, you're not really selling insurance. Who cares if it's the lowest flipping home or auto quote or life insurance quote or Medicare quote? Nobody cares. Only people that shop insurance are agents. Consumers don't actually shop insurance. Anybody that thinks that, I can promise you, you need to get that out of your head because it's holding you back from closing deals. Guaranteed. Consumers don't shop. Agents do. And they tell themselves that consumers are shopping, which what does that do? The only reason we do it is because I didn't get the deal. Now it's because they're shopping. They're looking. You just close it anyway, right? So for me, I get a good workout in because I'm selling conviction, I'm selling passion, I'm selling me every single day. Third is I make sure that I am listening to something positive to start my day, right? So this morning I was listening to some T.D. Jakes and Les Brown on the way to work this morning, something positive to start my day. Like, are you waking up and turning on the news and looking at the media just fill your head with the absolute worst stuff on the planet? Are you scrolling through Facebook and seeing everyone complain about everything in the world and all these news articles of all the people dying everywhere and everything else? Or are you focused on having a positive mindset for the day? I'm telling you, you may think that those things are not affecting you. I promise you, they are. I promise you, they are. Like, I have a rule in my own life. My family knows it. My friends know it. I don't talk about COVID, period. Why? Because I can't control it. I can't. You know what I can control? What I do every single day. I don't talk about any of that stuff, right? Whether you believe, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, we can't control it, but I can control the success that I have in my life. That's all I can control. So that's why I'm big on, like, okay, every single day, I'm putting positive stuff. I was listening to worship music while I was showering this morning. Like, I'm focused on being a positive, better version of me. Like, I'm not all that. Like, he talked about, 6 companies over 10 million bucks, whatever. I have a lot of incredible people around me. That's the only thing that I haven't been dumb at. Like, yesterday, we're in a team meeting. I didn't even know octopus had 8 legs. So they're like, dude, octo means octagon, which means 8. You don't have to be that smart, right? I had no idea. True? BBC. Yeah, BBC, right? And I was born in Arkansas. That's, whatever, okay? You don't have to be that smart. Guess what you got to be? You got to show up. You got to accept responsibility. You got to be positive. What you put in your brain, the first 30 minutes of the day and the last 30 minutes of the day are the most important part of your day. So think about it. Stop for a second. What are you putting in your brain for the first 30 minutes and the last 30 minutes? Is it helping you be a better person, or is it really polluting your own brain? And you're brainwashing and polluting and taking freaking massive bags of trash and dumping them on top of yourself to start your day? Or are you thinking about, I need to be really positive and really successful today, okay? I get a little excited and intense, so if I do, apologize, okay? But I think maybe it'll hit home a little harder if I am that way.
When people say 8 hours, like, bro, no one human is the same. No one human needs exactly what another human needs. So for some of us, we're not wired, for 8. I could take a 10-minute nap, and I'm telling you, I'm ready to go. My wife needs like 3-hour nap. Like, she got to put on a gown, the whole 9. You know what I'm saying?